Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see about interest calculations. In interest calculations, we'll be mostly covering simple interest as well as compound interest. First, let's see about simple interest. Simple interest is nothing but the interest will be calculated only based on the principal. So that we call it as a simple interest. So interest which will be calculating based on principal into time period into rate of interest by 100. So rate of interest is nothing but the percentage in which we'll be getting the interest per annum. So per annum means for one complete year, the rate of interest will be given. Sometimes if the duration is based on months, we need to divide that by 12, or sometimes if it is given in days, we need to divide the time period by 365. So amount can be got by obtaining the sum of principal plus the interest will give us the amount, total amount. So principal plus simple interest will give us the total amount. T is the time period or is the rate of interest and P is the principal. So now let's take a simple example. If Ramesh invests rupees 10,000 in a bank for simple interest at the rate of rupees 10 percentage per annum, what will be the interest after 6 years? Okay. So now, since we know every year the interest will be calculated only based on the principal. So all the year, first year it will be 10 percentage of 10,000, which is 1,000. Second year also it will be 1,000. Third year also it will be 1,000. So for 6 years it will be 6,000 rupees will be our interest. Okay, so that is what we have represented it as a formula P into T into R by 100. So where T into R will give us the percentage and that percentage of principal will give us the interest. Okay, so PTR by 100 directly by substituting the particular values, we'll get 10,000 into 6 into 10 by 100. We'll be getting 6,000 as our answer. Similarly, by percentage method, total number of years is 6, rate of interest is 10. So just by multiply T into R, we'll get 60 percentage. So directly we can say 60 percentage of the principal will be our interest. So 60 percentage of 1,000, 10,000 will be 6,000. Now compound interest. The compound interest is nothing but the interest for the interest will also be calculated. So for that we have a separate formula P into 1 plus R by 100 to the whole power n. That will give us the amount. Compound interest can be calculated by just subtracting the amount minus the principal will give us the compound interest. Okay, so that will take an example to find out the difference between the simple interest as well as the compound interest. If 25,000 is deposited under simple interest as well as compound interest at 10 percentage per annum for 4 years, what will be the difference between their interest? Okay, so now the simple interest, it will be very simple. For first year it will be 10 percentage of 25,000, which is 2,500. Second year also the same interest will be there, 2,500. Since we know it is for 4 years, directly we can say it is 4 into 2,500, which is 40 percentage of 25,000, which is 10,000. Whereas under compound interest, now first year it will be 10 percentage of 25,000, which is 2,500. Second year it will be 10 percentage of 25,000 plus 10 percentage of 2,500. It will be 2,750. For third year it will be 10 percentage of 25,000 plus 10 percentage of 2,500 plus 10 percentage of 2,500 plus 10 percentage of 250. Okay, by adding we will be getting 3,025. Same way here for the fourth year it will be 10 percentage of 25,000 plus 10 percentage of 2,500 plus 10 percentage of 2,500 plus 10 percentage of 250 plus 10 percentage of 2,500 plus 10 percentage of 250 plus 10 percentage of 250 plus 10 percentage of 25. Okay, for each and every interest we need to take the interest. Okay, interest for the interest should be taken, then only we can say it is compound interest. So now when I add everything, we'll be getting 3,327.5. So every year the compound interest keeps on increasing year by year. So now we'll be getting, when we accumulated interest for 4 years will be 11,602.5. Whereas in simple interest we got only 10,000 rupees. So in compound interest, our interest is maximum. So we'll be getting around 46.41 percentage interest for 4 years. The difference will be 1602.5 rupees. This is an alternate approach in which you can solve the problem by using formula. Also directly we can substitute and get the answer. So now let's take some of the commonly asked problems. For that, direct formulas we can see. If a sum of money becomes x times of itself in t years at r percentage per annum under simple interest, then we can say x minus 1 into 100 will be equal to t into r. Same way, if a sum of money becomes x1 times of itself in t1 years at r percentage per annum, and it becomes x2 times and t2 years at r2 percentage per annum, that directly we can relate it by using this simple equation. X1 minus 1 divided by x2 minus 1 will be equal to t1 r1 by t2 r2. And a sum of money becomes an amount A1 in T1 years at the certain rate, and the same sum becomes an amount of A2 in T2 years, where T2 is greater than T1. Then the relation. Okay, if we have question like this, like when the sum of money becomes 4 times in 10 years and it becomes 18 times in 12 years, what is the rate of interest or what is the principal? Like that, if we get any question, directly we can substitute this formula. Okay, so P is equal to A1 T1. So amount means it will be like 3 times the principal, 5 times the principal. Like that, if they are giving, we need to put it 5P or just 5 is enough. Okay, so P means it is just the principal. Since he will be here, they will be giving 5 times the principal and 12 times the principal, like that. So we can directly put 12P like that. So A1 T2 minus A2 T1 divided by T2 minus T1. Whereas rate of interest can be calculated by A1 minus P divided by P into T1 into 100. And then compound interest. If the rate of the compound interest are different each and every year, like R1, R2, R3, and so on for n successive years, then the amount is equal to P into 1 plus R1 by 100 into 1 plus R2 by 100 into 1 plus R3 by 100 and so on till 1 plus Rn by 100. Then this is very important. If a sum of rupees P is lent out at R percentage per annum compounded annually for n years, now amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 200 to the whole power n, to whole power 2n, if it is compounded half yearly. Compounded half yearly means every 6 months we will be getting the interest. So in 1 year there are 2 halves. So that's why we need to divide the rate of interest by 2 and increase or multiply the number of years by 2. Same way, if it is compounded quarterly, then we need to take P into 1 plus R by 400 to the whole power 4n. In 1 year, there are 4 quarters. So we are multiplying 4 into n for the number of years and we are dividing the rate of interest by 4. The difference between the simple interest and compound interest on a certain sum of rupees P for 2 years alone, if they are giving, we have a direct formula. Okay, just we can directly say difference is equal to P into R by 100 to the whole square. So to find out the difference between simple interest and compound interest for 2 years, directly we can say P into R by 100 to the whole square. Now we'll see some of the commonly asked questions under simple interest. So like doubling, tripling, like that. For one example, let me take a sum of money invested at a simple interest triples itself in 8 years. Find in how many years will it become 9 times. Okay, so now what we need to do, we know amount is equal to principal plus simple interest. Amount become triples in 8 years means, so A is equal to 3P. So just substitute that here. Amount is equal to principal plus simple interest, which means our simple interest is equal to 2P. We know under simple interest, your principal will not change. Only the interest will change. Okay, so we can say, so we are getting the interest twice the principal in 8 years, which means we'll get 4 times the principal in 16 years, and 6 times the principal in 24 years, and 8 times the principal in 32 years. Okay, so if we are getting 8 times the principal in 32 years, so the total amount will be 9p in 32 years. We know amount is equal to principal plus simple interest. We know amount is equal to principal plus simple interest. So we can say 8p is equal to, sorry, simple interest is equal to 8p. Then the amount will be 9p in 32 years. We can also say in other ways like this. We can take a table. So always simple interest will follow arithmetic progression. For 8 years, the simple interest is 2p. The amount is 3p. Okay, so you can see it will be arithmetically increasing. 3p will become 5p in 16 years, and 7p in 24 years, and 9p in 32 years. So only the simple interest will be changing, like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, like that. Okay, amount will be like 2p plus p, 4p plus p. Okay, so amount is equal to principal plus simple interest. Now, if it is compound interest, the sum of money invested at a simple interest, sorry, compound interest triples itself in 8 years. How many times will it become? 32 will it become in 32 years at the same rate. So now we can directly apply the compound interest formula. Compound interest amount is equal to p into 1 plus r by 100 to the whole power n. So 3p is equal to p into 1 plus r by 100 to the whole power 8. Now 3p to the whole power 4 is equal to p into 1 plus r by 100 to the whole power 4 into 8. Because we know 32 years is nothing but 4 into 8. Therefore, it becomes 81 times the principal, because here it is increased 4 times, power also increased 4 times. So 3 power 4, it is 81 times in 32 years. We can also say in other ways, in 8 years, it is becoming 3 times, means in 16 years, it will be 3 square times the principal, which is 9 times. In 24 years, it will become 3 cube times the principal. In 32 years, it will become 81 times the principal. It will be geometrically increasing. It will be following GP, right? So simple interest will always follow arithmetic progression, and compound interest will always follow geometric progression. Thank you.